VeggieTales was such a massive part of my childhood. Not only a great show for kids and families, but one of the best pieces of Christian media there is. I've wanted to make a video on VeggieTales for quite a while now, but honestly, what better topic to talk about than probably the most iconic part of the show, the silly songs. So what the heck, let's just rank them all, from the worst to the best. This is entirely based on my personal enjoyment of these songs for any reason. And this is strictly the silly songs. No other VeggieTales music will be added. I know there are some bangers out there, but today we're strictly staying silly. Now I've got 41 songs to rank, so let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Last place was super easy for me. There are very few bad silly songs, but The History of Fashion or Astonishing Wigs is just not good. Sure, I like that Archibald gets a song, but he has another one later that's just so much better. It's not even like they actually give you a lesson on wig history. They talk about how livestock and trees wore wigs back in the day. What? Weirdly enough, this is the pigs' first appearance, even before the Three Little Pigs episode. And I didn't like them in that, but at least they had a valid reason to be there. Why are they talking about wigs? This makes no sense. It's not even so out there that it's silly, it just weirds me out. Plus the song isn't even catchy. Somehow Larry is the best part of this, and he doesn't even do anything. BFFs takes the award for most ear-grating silly song. Look how cool they are, they're texting, so hype and trendy, guys. Most of this song is just so fast. Then on top of the texting acronyms, you can't even tell what they're saying most of the time. I guess I have to give them some respect for coming up with this many text abbreviations that actually fit into a song, but this one has just never been for me. Also, veggies have thumbs confirmed, I thought I should get that out there. Thankfully, Goodnight Junior is Junior's only silly song he gets to himself. I really feel bad for his mom. She has to put up with his singing and his bratty attitude, and I'm just as annoyed listening to this as she is. Junior's just annoying, and him constantly berating his mom to give him more of his stuffed animals just to avoid going to bed does not make me like him more. I guess it is kind of funny to see how rightfully peeved the mom gets. Like, Junior, your bear is literally 2 feet away. Get it yourself, you lazy plebe. I hope you suffocate under that pile of stuffed animals. You know, I'm sorry, that was too harsh. I apologize, Junior. You're not all bad. My favorite boy band couldn't exist without you. Schoolhouse Polka is basically a bunch of mini educational silly songs roped into one, and none of them are that good. I guess I also just don't care for Polka that much. I mean, I guess I liked it when Larry started rocking out in his accordion. This one just doesn't do anything for me. Let's move on. Superhero doesn't really have much I dislike, but at the same time, not much I like either. Just pretty unremarkable. I will say the rhymes this song uses are pretty lazy. They literally just add an O to the end of every word so it rhymes with superhero. Yeah, that's not good writing. It is really funny for some reason when Larry says, "Dude, he ate our cake." I don't know, it just feels so out of place. These small things even themselves out, I guess. Just the definition of mid. Honestly, the first half of Happy Tooth Day is not bad. I like seeing Larry as a kid with his one massive tooth. I don't know, it's just kind of charming seeing him so passionate about it, I guess. Plus I like his backup singers, they have some pretty sick harmonies. Though the second half is just bizarre. Larry and the gang all get these tooth buddies, and they literally haunt my nightmares. I like how they scare Bob with them, that's pretty funny. Overall though, just very forgettable. A Mess Down in Egypt is easily the worst Boys in the Sink song. I don't care for rap, and I don't think it works as well as a Boys in the Sink song as the others do. And like, it's just giving us a recap on Moses, which is literally what the episode I'm watching this one on is about, so it's kind of pointless. I wish they had just done something more silly and made it more of its own thing. These silly songs just work better when they aren't trying to tie into anything or have a pseudo lesson. Though it's still the BITs, so I can't put them any lower than this. The only thing keeping Asteroid Cowboys above the others so far is the veggies' eyes getting sucked out of their sockets. Like, how do you come up with this stuff? That's so random and hilarious. Jimmy constantly getting smacked around by the asteroids was pretty funny too, I guess. The song itself is just extremely whatever. I think I like the idea of the blues with Larry more than the actual song itself. It's funny to hear Larry sing the blues about ice cream and cookies. I like the lemon guy too, he's so emo, and anytime he banters with Larry, it's pretty funny. Overall, it's just a really fun idea to have Larry be too happy to sing the blues, alongside this other guy who's just taking it way too seriously. Though again, I guess blues music just isn't really my thing. The song itself is just fine. My Golden Egg was the last silly song to release, and it's when they had moved on to the VeggieTales in the House style of animation, which despite how inferior it is to the original, this song isn't half bad. Visually, it is one of the more creative ones. They do some interesting stuff. The song is also decently catchy, at least the chorus. Though I just can't put it any higher, cause really, I am just not a huge fan of the in the house style, and you can feel it throughout this song, in the animation of course, and just the vibe it gives off. Donuts for Benny is another one where it starts off pretty normal, just a nice little sad song about a hungry dog, and it's pretty decent. And then the dog goes crazy on a sugar high or something. And the second half is the dog tossing around Mr. Lunt, and he sings and walks on 2 legs, gets eyes, and it's just a little too weird, and I don't know how I feel about it. This is one of the only times we see an actual animal on VeggieTales, and it's just so off-putting. I guess I should praise its absurdity, but it just kind of weirds me out to be honest. The 180 in this song is crazy. Next up on this ranking, Pants. I can't help but find some enjoyment in Pants. It has a ton of energy, and I love the infomercial theme they're going for. I honestly think they could have even leaned into this a little more, and it could have been even better. This one came out at a time where the animation was kind of rough. Like, Jimmy is really pale, and it's a little unsettling. These little Pants guys are pretty epic, though. I don't have much to say about Larry's high silk hat. It just never really clicked with me. It's another Archibald one that goes for a more fancy tone and vibe that I just don't care for. But the story is still fun enough to make it pretty enjoyable. Though I can't believe they actually mentioned that one guy who doesn't have a name. He's been around since show 1 and he still doesn't have a name. That is sad. This picture of Larry is pretty tough though, I can't lie. So yeah, 29 on the list. What do you think of that? Sneeze If You Need To is a weird example where I feel the song is really good, while the idea behind it is kind of weak. I don't know, a sneeze doctor just feels like kind of a random choice, and I didn't feel like they did anything that creative with it. But like I said, the song itself is really good. It is weird how they paused a couple times to give you these sneeze facts, but I guess it's worth it to see the absolute legend, Dirk. The French Peas were definitely an interesting choice to get their own song. I personally would have rather seen a different character who never got a song to have a go at it like Jimmy and Jerry, but whatever. Hopperena is a pretty good time. Like Superhero, the rhymes are pretty weak, just adding an sound at the end of every line to sound like Hopperena. But the dance literally being just 2 steps is pretty funny, since they build it up to be this huge thing. And any song with an Archibald crash out gets some points from me. But I also like how fast he gets into it and just starts causing chaos. So yeah, the song overall is just pretty okay, but the whole package is definitely a really good time. Macaroni and Cheese is such a fun one. It's the story of Larry's great-grandparents as they invent macaroni and cheese, but it's played as this classic Romeo and Juliet story, rival families and such. I just love a lot of these random family members. They're so over-the-top goofy, especially their voices. This song just doesn't take itself seriously, and that's why I like it. Remember that one time Larry was an Elvis impersonator? Yeah, my baby elf is just straight up Larry doing an Elvis impression. And call me crazy, but it works surprisingly well. I don't really have too much to say about this one, just pretty fun, pretty charming, good song. The Yodeling Veterinarian of the Alps is another one I just don't have that much to say about. The song is really good, super catchy. I like this barbershop quartet with Frank and Celery, they're pretty sick. I just never found anything about this concept to be all that funny if I'm being honest. It's not unfunny, but nothing that really makes me laugh or anything. Except Larry saying yabba dabba doo, that's pretty good. Wrap Myself Up for Christmas is just simple fun. Catchy little Christmas song, and they're all in the wrapping paper and just dancing around. I don't know, I really like this one. Visually it's pretty fun too, with all the different backgrounds and such. But of course, Junior comes in at the end and ruins everything. Boo! The Biscuit of Zazzamarandabo is really this high for the comedy. The song is just pretty good, but anything that has Archibald suffering is bound to be a good time. Especially when that's paired with Larry just making his life miserable. Justice for Archibald, honestly, he deserves better than this. But it is nice that he gets his own song. And it's actually good and not filled with pre-cooked bacon. The 8 Polish Foods of Christmas probably shouldn't be this high, as not only was it not even written specifically for the episode it aired in, The Little Drummer Boy, but it's really just the 12 Days of Christmas with different lyrics. But at the same time, that's why I like it. This song was featured on an old VeggieTales CD, A Very Veggie Christmas, that I listened to every year, and maybe used to listen to every Christmas. I said maybe. So seeing that song I've listened to for years growing up actually come to life is pretty special. Monkey is one of those songs that is so bizarre that it just really works. If it doesn't have a tail, it's not a monkey. If it doesn't have a tail, it's not a monkey, it's an ape. That line of the song is so infectious, it will get stuck in your head. This is one of the few songs we actually get Larry and Bob together, which is great, because the two of them paired is always a good time. And I wish more silly songs were about these two. They just play off each other really well. Endangered Love or Barbara Manatee was never my favorite growing up, but I honestly have an appreciation for it now. Larry is so into this soap opera that it cracks me up, and the chorus where he sings is really good, and the dance moves and lighting set the scene way better than they should. The verses where it's just the TV singing are just fine, but again, Larry's reactions during this part are hysterical. This song takes itself way too seriously, and that's why it's so funny. Plus the ending with Bob is great. Maybe you should read a book. That's a face of genuine concern. Larry has not touched grass in a week. Also, I'm now noticing Larry's making this face at me in like every song. What is with that? Kilts And Stilts is another one where the song itself is just pretty good, but the comedy is top tier. Scooter really gets to shine here, which is great. He's such an underrated character that should have been used more. I love how proud he is when it's all a Scottish song, but once they start doing their own thing, he's just crashing out the whole time. It's great. Larry's accents are also funny, and I like how the music changes based on what country they're singing about. Just a solid fun time. The one that started it all, the Water Buffalo song. Sure, it's extremely short, but I have to give the OG some respect, and it's still extremely catchy. It has the best Archibald crash out. What more could you want? I'm just gonna say it, I think the Hairbrush Song is just slightly overrated. I like it a lot, but so many people call it the best silly song, and I really don't see it being anywhere near that. But there is still a lot of great stuff. I love how dramatic it is and how it's really played out as a musical theater scene. Like all the narrator's lines are basically what you would see in a script as the stage directions. That's really cool. And I actually liked Junior in this one. Bring back Savage Junior, he's way more entertaining. The Peach is pretty sick too. Cause he's got hair. Now, Where Have All the Staplers Gone is truly a Broadway number come to life, and it's a pretty good parody. The opening line of, we don't have much time before the big meeting, no, we don't, really does feel like something that would be in a cheesy Broadway musical. I just really like that they fully play into this theme for the whole song, and as a musical theater lover, you know I'm gonna eat this up. I guess I will say this probably wasn't the song that should have had this more creative art style, and I wish they had just stuck to keeping this on the stage more, like I was actually watching an Office Supplies musical. Perfect Puppy has to be one of the most underrated silly songs there is. Larry looking for the perfect puppy to be his pet is really charming, and like Monkey, this is one of the few songs that Bob and Larry actually get together, which is great. The song itself is also one of the best. Larry hits some insane sounding notes, and Bob rhyming all the dog names is really catchy. One other random thing I enjoyed about this one is the set. Almost all these take place on the counter, and usually stick to one set, but this one is constantly changing the set pieces right in front of you, but it all transitions seamlessly, and it's super cool to see. I don't know, it's something we don't see often that just really stood out to me. Again, I think his Cheeseburger might be a little overrated, but it is no doubt one of the most iconic silly songs there is. A love song about Jerry and a cheeseburger in a romantic relationship is crazy, but it works I guess, and the song is truly a bop. I am a little disappointed though. I thought he was gonna sing about growing up in Connecticut. I Love My Lips is another that has become so iconic over the years, and for good reason. I love this one. Larry is in therapy for some reason, raving about his lips. Bro, you don't even have lips. But the fast-paced lyrics are fun, and again, anything with Larry and Archibald together is gold. Plus, I could say the whole Larry rant. And I just stood there until the fire department came and they had to break a lock with the crowbar, and then I spent the next 6 weeks in lip rehab with this kid named Oscar who was stung by a bee, running lips, and we couldn't even talk to each other until the 5th week because both of our lips were so swollen. And we just started speaking his Polish, and I only like 3 words in Polish now, and a 4 because Oscar taught me the word for lip. Usta. Don't ask me why I can do that. Sport Utility Vehicle is another criminally underrated song. Larry and the dog lady are flirting by complimenting each other's cars, and they're rescuing a park ranger from a ditch. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on, but I like it. The chorus is so good though, I can seriously jam out to this, and the drums are going so hard and it just feels so grand and epic. Yes, Bob and Larry together again. Dance of the Cucumber is easily the best song they have together. It's just so funny seeing Larry roast Bob as he's translating it out himself. Great stuff. Despite Larry's previous outing with foreign accents, he does a really good job with the Spanish here. It sounds great. Catchy song, fun idea, and the comedy lands. Everything you want from a silly song. Sippy Cup has always been a personal favorite of mine. They make having to drink from a sippy cup feel like a prison sentence or something. Like they take it to court, oh my gosh. I like how this P is playing the piano for the song in real time. That's a cool little detail. Not much else to say, it's just really fun and silly. I like it a lot. Oh Santa is the best Christmas silly song by far. It just always puts me in the Christmas spirit. The story this time is probably the best we've gotten. It's pretty expansive for a silly song, but it works. It's pretty wholesome seeing Larry sharing the Christmas spirit with a bank robber, or a Viking, or an IRS agent. That's crazy. And see them change their ways in the spirit of Christmas. My only gripe is that it is a little long, but other than that, it has some of the best jokes, best characters, and it's just one of the best sounding silly songs there is. Santa Bob is also something I didn't know I needed. The greatest boy band of all time, the Boys in the Sink, with their breakout single, Belly Button. I enjoyed this one way more than I had remembered. They captured that boy band feeling perfectly, and the way it's all presented is so cool. These guys have so much aura, not gonna lie. And the song just goes so hard. Like, they did not need to put this much effort into a song about a gourd being sad he doesn't have a belly button. What's not to like? Yes, Lance the Turtle. Finally, a Bob-centered silly song. Bob is no doubt the best VeggieTales character for me, and finally seeing him get the spotlight is great. But yeah, I love how he's just so confused and put on the spot by this whole situation. The whole thing just slowly turns into chaos as his words get shredded by the fan. He gets so peeved, and the panic is so much fun to watch. It's classic Bob. Great stuff. The Song of the Cebu is really half song and half story. This is honestly great though. From what song we do have, it's literally the catchiest thing you've ever heard. You can't tell me you listen to this and don't sing along to Cebu. The slideshow is also a ton of fun. This picture lives rent-free in my head, like what is happening? And an Archibald crash out, literal perfection. The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything is truly iconic, probably just behind the Hairbrush Song. These guys had several appearances throughout the show, and for good reason. Their song is a jam. Just a bunch of scallywags who have never been to Boston in the fall. Of course though, Larry misses the assignment and just goes crazy. It's great stuff. I like how Larry's chair clips through the sail, that's pretty funny. I mean, come on, what other silly song has gotten its own movie? Now, if there's a silly song that needs to be talked about more, it is Gated Community. I love this one. I mean, the ending alone carries it. That overlap between Larry and the Gated Community guys is so good. Seriously, it will make you get up and dance. Please go listen to this one, incredibly underrated. The greatest Boys in the Sink song of all time, Bubble Wrap. Why is this so good? Say what you want about the new designs, but I like them quite a bit. Then of course Khalil comes in and makes the song even better. The vocals are great, and they use the bubble wrap and packing materials in fun ways throughout the song. I like when Junior says, "What up, dog?" Rare Junior W. I mean, it truly cannot be beat. Well, except it's Pizza Angel. It's always been Pizza Angel. Yet another love song about fast food, and it again takes itself so seriously that it actually really works. The emotions hit, and it makes the dramatic moments feel dramatic. It's just genuinely a good song. Like, there are a few of these silly songs I would actually go out of my way to listen to, but Pizza Angel I gladly would any day. This one has always been my favorite, and I didn't even realize until watching a bunch of other people's rankings myself that this is pretty widely considered one of the best, if not the best, and I am so glad it gets the praise it deserves. And there you have it, the complete silly song ranking. I honestly had a blast putting this video together. Getting to go back and rewatch these silly songs was a joy, reliving so many memories. It's a shame VeggieTales isn't around anymore, because they truly made some great music. But this has already been long enough, so let me know what you think of my ranking in the comments below. And make sure to like and subscribe, and I will let Junior out of my basement. Wait, what?